Srimad Bhagavatam Canto, the process of creation. Now we try to understand Shloka 5 and 6. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते
Om Namo
वासुदेवाय
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo
नारायणं
Bhagavate Narayanam Namaskritya
नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं तथा जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं
Nityam Bhagavata
भागवतसेवया
Sevaya. Bhagavati
भगवती
Uttama
उत्तमश्लोके
Shloke
भक्तिर्भवति
Bhaktir
नैष्टिके
Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4, second chapter, fourth, the process of creation. Shlok Kramanka 5 and 6. Raja Uvacha
राजा उवाच
Samichinam Vacha Brahman
समीचीनं वचः ब्रह्मन्
Sarvagyasya Tava Anaga
सर्वज्ञस्य तव अनघ
Tama Vishiryate Mayam
तमः विशीर्यते मह्यम्
Tathayata Katham
हरेः कथयतः कथाम्
Bhuya Eva Vivitsami
भूय एव विवित्सामि
Bhagavan Atma Mayaya
भगवान् आत्ममायया
यथा इदं सृजोते विश्वं
यथा इदं सृजति विश्वम्
दुर्विभाव्यम् अधीश्वरै
दुर्विभाव्यम् अधीश्वरैः
राजा उवाच
राजा उवाच
समीचीनं वचः ब्रह्मन्
समीचीनं वचः ब्रह्मन्
सर्वज्ञस्य तव
सर्वज्ञस्य तव नघ
तमः विशीर्यते मह्यम्
तमः विशीर्यते मह्यम्
हरे कथयत कथाम्
हरेः कथयतः कथाम्
भूय एव विवित्सामि
भूय एव विवित्सामि
भगवान् आत्ममायया
भगवान् आत्ममायया
यथा इदं सृजते विश्वम्
यथा इदं सृजते विश्वम्
दुर्विभाव्यम् अधीश्वरै
दुर्विभाव्यम् अधीश्वरैः
राजा उवाच समीचीनं वचः ब्रह्मन् सर्वज्ञस्य तव अनघ तमः विशीर्यते मह्यं हरे कथयतः कथाम् भूय एव विवित्सामि भगवान् आत्ममायया यथा इदं सृजते विश्वं दुर्विभाव्यम् अधीश्वरै हरे
राजा
कृष्ण
उवाच समीचीनं वचः ब्रह्मन् सर्वज्ञस्य तव नघ तमः विषीर्यते मह्यम् हरे कथयत कथाम् भूय एव विवित्सामि भगवान् आत्ममायया यथा इदं सृजते विश्वम् दुर्विभाव्यम् अधीश्वरैः
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mahārāja Parīkṣit said, O learned brāhmaṇa, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance, for you are narrating the topics of the Lord. I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead, by his personal energies, creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. Purport. The practical experience of Mahārāja Parīkṣit is disclosed herein, revealing that transcendental topics of the Lord act like injection when received by the sincere devotee from a person who is perfectly uncontaminated by material things. In other words, a reception of the message of Srimad Bhagavatam from professional men heard by a karma kandiya audience never acts miraculously, as stated here. Devotional hearing of the message of the Lord is not like hearing ordinary topics. Therefore, the action will be felt by the sincere hearer by experience of the gradual disappearance of ignorance. यस्य देवे परा भक्ति यथा देवे तथा गुरौ तस्य एते कथिता हि अर्थ प्रक्ष prakshante mahatmanah. Shveta Upanishad 6.23. When a hungry man is given food to eat, he feels satiation of hunger and the pleasure of dining simultaneously. Thus, he does not have to ask whether he has actually been fed or not. The crucial test of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is that one should get positive enlightenment by such an act. In every inquisitive mind, the important question of creation of the phenomenal world arises. And therefore, for a personality like Mahārāja Parīkṣit, who was to know all the activities of the Lord from his spiritual master, such an inquiry is not uncommon. For every unknown thing, we have to learn and inquire from a learned personality. The question of creation is also one of such inquiries to be made to the right person. The spiritual master, therefore, must be one who is Sarvagya, as stated here in before in connection with Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Thus, all inquiries on God which are unknown to the disciple may be made from the qualified spiritual master. And here, the practical example is said by Mahārāja Parīkṣit. It was, however, already known to Mahārāja Parīkṣit that everything we see is born out of energy of the Lord, as we have all learned in the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Jalmadi Asyayata. So Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know the process of creation. The origin of creation was known to him. Otherwise, he would not have inquired how the personality of Godhead, by his different energies, creates his phenomenal world. The uncommon man also knows that the creation is made by some creator and is not created automatically. We have no experience in the practical world that a thing is created automatically. Foolish people say that the creative energy is independent and act automatically as electrical energy works. But the intelligent man knows that even the electrical energy is generated by an expert engineer in the localized powerhouse, and thus the energy is distributed everywhere under the resident engineer's supervision. The Lord's supervision in connection with the creation is mentioned even in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Creation of the universe. But an intelligent devotee of the Lord, by studying the Bhagavad Gita, can know that behind the creation is the hand of the Supreme Lord. Just as in the generating electric power source, there is the residential engineer. The research scholar finds out the cause and the effect of everything. But research scholars as great as Brahma, Shiv, Indra, and many other demigods are sometimes bewildered by seeing the wonderful creative energy of the Lord. So, what to speak of the tiny mundane scholars dealing in petty things, as there are differences in the living conditions of different planets of the universes, and as one planet is superior to others, the brains of the living entities in those respective planets are also of different categorical values. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, one can compare the long duration of life of inhabitant of Brahma's planet, which is inconceivable, to the inhabitant of this planet Earth. The uh, categorical value of the brain of Brahmaji also inconceivable to any great scientist of this planet. And with such high brain power, even Brahmaji has described in his great Sahita Brahma Sahita 5.1 as follows. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagwan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person, and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord of Lord Govinda and cause of all causes. Brahmaji admits Lord Krishna to be the supreme cause of all causes, but persons with tiny brains within this petty planet Earth think of the Lord as one of them. Thus, when the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita that he Lord Krishna is all in all, the speculative philosophers and mundane wranglers deride him, and Lord regretfully says, Avajananti ma moodha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananta mam mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Brahma and Shiva, and what to speak of other demigods, are bhutas or powerful created demigods who manage universal affairs much like minister appointed by a king. The minister may be Shwaras or controllers, but the Supreme Lord is Maheshwar or the creator of the controllers. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge do not know this. Therefore, they have audacity to deride him because he comes before us by his causeless mercy or occasionally as a human being. The Lord is not like a human being. He is Satchit Ananda Vigraha or the absolute personality of Godhead, and there is no difference between his body and his soul. He is both the power and the powerful. Maharaj Parīkṣit did not ask his spiritual master Śukadeva Gosvāmī to narrate Lord Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. He wanted to hear first about the creation of the Lord. Śukadeva Gosvāmī did not say that the king should hear about the direct transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The time was very short, and naturally Śukadeva Gosvāmī would have gone directly to the 10th canto to make a shortcut of the whole thing as generally done by the professional reciters, but neither the king nor the great speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam jumped up like the organizers of the Bhagavatam. Both of them proceeded systematically so that both future readers as hearers might take lessons from the example of the procedure of reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are in control of the external energy of the Lord, or in other words, those who are in the material world, must first of all know how the external energy of the Lord is working under the direction of the Supreme Personality, and afterwards one may try to enter into the activities of his internal energy. The mundaners are mostly worshippers of Durga Devi, the external energy of Krishna, but they do not know that Durga Devi is but the shadow or energy of the Lord. Behind her astonishing display of material working is the direction of the Lord, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. The Brahma Samhita affirms that Durga Shakti is working by the direction of the Govinda, and without his sanction, the powerful Durga Shakti cannot move even a blade of grass. Therefore, the neophyte devotee, instead of jumping at once to the platform of transcendental pastime presented by the internal energy of the Lord, may know how great the Supreme Lord is by inquiring about the process of his creative energy. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, also descriptions of the creative energy and the Lord's hand in it are explained. And the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita has warned the neophyte devotee is to be seriously on guard against the pitfall of neglecting knowledge about Krishna in regard to how great he is. Only when one knows Lord Krishna's greatness, one firmly put one's unflinching faith in him. Otherwise, like the common man, even the great leaders of a man will mistake Lord Krishna for one of the many demigods, or a historical personality, or a myth only. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord in Vrindavan, or even at Dwarka, are relatable for persons who have already qualified themselves in advanced spiritual techniques, and the common man may be able to attend to such a plane by the gradual process of service and inquiries, as we shall see in the behavior of Mahārāja Parīkṣit. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभे च कृपा सिन्धुभे एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 krishna. We continue Srimad Bhagavatam canto 2nd chapter 4 text 5 and 6. Here Raja Parikshit Maharaj said how uh, you know everything because you are without material contamination. He is speaking with Śukadeva Gosvāmī that the practical experience of Mahārāja Parīkṣit is disclosed here. And in next shloka, they are describing about the importance of the inquisitive mind, important question asking, phenomena were arising, all that, and how we take the shelter of the spiritual master. So some examples they are giving in these shlokas. Prabhuji will tell us is nicely in Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, very important shloka from practical perspectives. So, here what we are seeing is a complete, let's say, practical guidance by Srila Prabhupada to us. So, while in the initial part he talks about the importance of hearing from a pure devotee, because transcendental topics are transformative. So, hearing about Lord from pure devotee acts like a powerful injection, dispels ignorance, and brings enlightenment if we are a sincere listener. So, Maharaj Parīkṣit glorifies Śukadeva Gosvāmī ji. He recognizes that his words they are free from material contamination, and so they're dispelling ignorance like spiritual injection. That is where the importance of devotional hearing lies. Bhagavatam is not an ordinary literature. When it is received with devotion from a pure speaker, it enlightens the listener and invokes transformation. The effect is felt as tangible reduction in ignorance and increase in spiritual understanding. And that is why that pure is important, pure speaker. And we get to know about it when we serve Guru. Like Prabhupada quotes Shweta Upanishad 6.23, which affirms that real understanding dawns upon those who serve both Krishna and Guru with faith. And when we start on the path of bhakti, we get simultaneous results. So devotional hearing leads to bhakti, pareshuna bhava, and virakti. So devotion, realization of Krishna, and detachment. And this is something which is compared with eating. We'll be seeing that shloka in 11th canto, 2nd chapter. That when we eat, then simultaneously we feel satisfaction, we get nourishment, and we get freedom from hunger. So all three occur together. Similarly, when we have devotional hearing, we get simultaneously devotion, realization of Krishna, and detachment from material attachments. So this detachment and renunciation, they are important topics. Now, detachment, virakti, differs from forced renunciation, tyaga. One does not reject the world, but engages everything in Krishna's service. Yukta vairagya. So one should see all things for service, not as objects to be renounced. And we get to this level when we have complete surrenderance to Krishna. Because true liberation, Jivan Mukti, means surrender to Krishna. It's not something we get after death. It is even while we are in this body. Because this is what Krishna told us in Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. So, while this is all true, what is important also is the sincere inquiry into creation. Because that is where we get to the systemic spiritual progress. Maharaj Parīkṣit was knowing the source of creation is Krishna, but still he humbly inquires about the process of creation. So this is a sign of his sincerity and desire to understand deeply. For that, a suitable spiritual master is important. Spiritual questions must be asked to qualified guru, sarvagyaha, like Śukadeva Gosvāmī. The process of learning is gradual, systematic. It should not be hasty or superficial. See, this whole creation is the work of Lord. Creation is not automatic. Prabhupada gives the example of electrical power, how it is generated under an ingenious control. Similarly, material energy operates under Krishna's direction. Bhagavad Gita 9.10. So the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, they entangle living beings like ropes. And this leads to repeated birth and death. Even great beings like Brahma and Shiva, they are bewildered by the Lord's creative energy. Brahmaji confirms this in Bhagavad Gita, wherein he says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sarva Karana Karanam. Then he arrived at that by surrenderance and seva. Because only by surrendering to Krishna, one can transcend the modes of material nature. And we can come to a stage of knowing about absolute truth. Modern thinkers mistakenly consider Krishna as ordinary figure, but actually he is Sachidananda Vigraha, the supreme truth. And that is why Krishna calls all of such people as Mudha. So what is important is systematic study. Śukadeva Goswāmī ji, Parīkṣit Maharaj, both of them systematically approached Bhagavatam, beginning from Lord's greatness before diving into intimate pastimes. This is exactly what is not being done by the modern narrators who do the Bhagavad Saptah. Only a with firm understanding we can develop unshakable faith and relish higher spiritual topics. So systematic study is important. Should be started from beginning to end, not jumping to the 10th canto directly. We must first understand how material nature, that is external energy, operates under Krishna's direction, and then appreciate his internal energy, divine pastimes. Durga Devi is often worshipped by mundaners. She is the shadow energy of Lord, acting only by his will. So without understanding greatness of Krishna, people will mistake him for a demigod, myth, or historical figure, which is wrong. So here are practical warnings and insights for us. That spiritual progress is gradual, systematic process. Hearing from pure devotees is transformative. It is essential. True detachment comes from engagement in devotional service, not artificial renunciation. Understanding Lord's creative energies is foundational before releasing his intimate pastimes. So jumping into confidential pastimes prematurely leads to confusion and disrespect. Another point is that modern science and education, it is devoid of spiritual understanding. So misleads the soul and foster false hopes like immortality through technology. While the truth is material nature, the modes of goodness, passion, ignorance, they bind the soul like a tightly knotted rope. So Krishna consciousness, Apavarga, is the only escape from this entanglement, freeing one from the hard label, pa, parishram, form of struggle, fa, fear, bhaya, and bondage, ma, mrityu. Surrender to Krishna is the only way to overcome material entanglement and achieve liberation. If one misses this rare opportunity of human birth, then they are risking going back into cycle of 84 lakh species of life, wasting a divine opportunity. So let us try and take this understanding from Parikshit Maharaj, from his question today, and his desire to know everything systematically, that we also follow his footsteps and ensure that we also slowly, steadily, always remain firm on our path of sadhana bhakti. Always serve Krishna, be fully surrendered, and then automatically one day Krishna will give us that knowledge by which we'll understand the absolute truth. And if Radharani recommends, we can achieve the ultimate objective of our life, which is Krishna Prem. So let us continue Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya and meet again tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you very much.